Dillon really only liked to play defense, you know. He was just a natural at linebacker. He had a feel for it. And all he wanted to do was hit somebody. I want to thank Coach Call, Coach Petrito, and all the coaches and all his teammates for making his last year of football something so special for him. And winning the Ironman Award meant an awful lot to him. I was surprised how much it meant to him. And Dillon was smart. For years he received less instruction than everyone else because he missed a lot of school. But because of his mom and tutors, like the past 2 years with Miss Holdsworth, Dillon was able to keep up with many of his classes. This was also because he taught himself a lot and because he was determined to stay with his classmates, a very special class of 2011. Miss Holdsworth, you know, Dillon was so pleased that if he had to miss school, he was going to be tutored again by you. Thank you. And to all of Dillon's teachers, principals, and others at the schools, thank you for supporting Dillon. He knew that you were on his side. Dillon loved music, alternative rock, and contemporary Christian music. He loved to text and to go to Facebook and stay connected with so many of you. He would be there for hours. And to everyone who contributed to buying Dillon his laptop a couple of years ago, it was a real joy to him. It often brought him relief from boredom or pain. And he enjoyed his friends so much. He had so many close friends, girls, boys. Everyone seemed to enjoy his personality, and he really enjoyed you. He really did. One of Dillon's favorite things to do was to go to the movies. The last movie we saw up at Great Lakes together was just 10 days ago. We saw Wolverine. It was good, and he liked it a lot. Dillon also liked food. When he was feeling good, he would eat a lot of different things that most kids wouldn't even try. He liked spicier foods, odd vegetables, seafood. He liked takeout from Buffalo Wild Wings and Pei Wei and Jimmy John's and, of course, Cruiser-Muir. A couple weeks ago, we ate out, and he had 2 lobster tails. And he hadn't been eating much, basically, but he got a taste for lobster tails, and that's what he wanted. Dillon also really liked warm weather, the beach, bonfires, and parties. Last summer we went to the Smoky Mountains with my parents and cousins, and then we followed that another week after with a week at Myrtle Beach with Kim's mom and cousins on that side. It was really special. We'll never forget it. Dillon loved his cousins. His cousins could make everything okay for Dillon. A vacation for Dillon could be going to Cleveland because he would be with his 3 cousins there, Luke, Alex, and Nicole. And he loved his cousins in Warren, Nathan, Brendan, and Kristen. And in Columbus, Caleb. And in Pittsburgh, Ian, Rachel, and Chelsea. And Nick, Jody, and Braz. And Tim, Nora, and Ashley. And I know you loved him so very much. His friends were beyond friends. He never felt abandoned by you, even though he couldn't always be with you, and he prayed for you, many of you by name. You have been amazing to witness and to see what great young people you all are. Thank you for each time you were there for Dillon. Dillon's grandma Dee Dee, for being back up for Kim and caring for Dillon and in caring for Mike and Sean, thank you. Kim knew that you were always there for her and that you would do things just like she would when she wasn't there to do it herself. For bringing energy and fun and an unpredictable streak to Dillon's life, I really thank you, Dee. Dillon loved you. You're the best. And Papa Nick, Dillon prayed for you, and he's concerned for you. He's afraid you may be left behind. For my mom and dad, Grandma Doris and Papa Kenny, you've always been there, waiting patiently to do whatever you could for us, not wanting to overstep, but always wanting to help. It's been hard for you sometimes, watching from a distance, but always praying. Your graciousness and love is beautiful. You've always been there when we needed you most, and again, you are here for us. And Dillon loved you very much. Dillon's loving aunts and uncles who adored him. We know you feel an anguish, a pain, in a very deep, deep way. We're glad for how each of you in your own way had your own relationship with Dillon. He loved you. Dillon loved his dog Zoe, who usually slept on the bed with Dillon. Zoe misses you, Dillon. And we thought Zoe just kind of liked Dillon's bed the best. But Zoe hasn't really been back in Dillon's room since he hasn't been there. And Dillon was so blessed by his brothers, Mike and Sean. He had no problem being the middle child. He was actually very good at it. He liked to pick on Sean, but not in a mean way. Remember, Mike, when you and Dill stuck the water hose down Sean's diaper? And it filled up with water until it exploded? Sean, Dillon was crazy about you. That's why he got in your personal space so much. Dillon would smile thinking about Sean and the little things that Sean would do that he thought was funny. Dillon looked up to Mike, and for all Mike's successes, Dillon was never envious. Dillon always liked to have Mike next to him, even if they weren't talking a lot. For Mike to be by his side in the hospital room brought Dillon a quiet peace. And Mike didn't expect anything from Dillon. They would just hang, and that was good for Dill. Mike and Sean, you were both great brothers to Dillon. And he loved you a lot, both of you. So many of us would have taken Dillon's place, but we just couldn't. We wanted to be his substitute, to take away the pain and suffering for him, but we just couldn't. We would have. Dillon never blamed God. He loved God. He trusted Jesus. And Dillon has received his reward in heaven. He knows the way. Dillon loved his mom, the quiet, unspoken kind of love that is reserved, I think, only for a mom and her son. And this is a mom and a son that spent more time together than most by far. Kim became a nurse through practice and experience, even though she never had the formal education for it. Kim was able to keep Dillon out of the hospital and at home a lot more than most could have. Dillon really liked to have his mom read to him, but it was always on his schedule, which was usually really late at night. I know Kim will miss reading books to Dillon. When Kim would be weakened from lack of sleep, she would still read to Dillon for hours as he was experiencing insomnia. Dillon loved his mom so much. And Kim would do anything for Dillon, anything. And she will miss everything about Dillon, and so will I. No child, though, ever had a better mom. Dillon, we love your smile, your eyebrows, your nose, every physical feature, really. We love your sense of humor, your style, your mannerisms, and your inner strength.